Welcome to another episode. We are back with Barnaby, visiting him in the UK to discover his whole complete bolt-on system for classic Defenders. And you also do the classic Land Rovers and series. But the main thing is bolt-on, plug-in, takes minutes to install, doesn't it?
Exactly. So no, the whole thing is making the system as comprehensive as possible so that when it gets to America or Canada or South Africa, etc., where we ship them all over the world, it can really be installed for someone who's never done it before in a couple of days.
Wow.
And that's because everything is thought through, every wiring loom is completely done. You plug it in, you bolt it in, and it's done.
Okay, so we'll go through the system in a second, but basically either people come to your shop, drop off their Land Rover Defender, and they get it a week later, 2 weeks later, fully EV?
A week later, 2 weeks later. By the time it's stripped, restored, had the new seats in it, etc., which is all done before us, it can come here. If the kit's sitting like this, it really doesn't have to stay with us for more than a couple of weeks. By the time we've installed it, tested it, made sure we're absolutely happy. But no, ultimately, look, it really is that easy, and that's what we're trying to prove today.
Okay, so how did you start from doing an older technology conversion to bringing like OEM levels?
So look, we started in my garage 4 years ago with my own car with a Hyper 9 motor, an adapter plate into the gearbox, etc. Old Tesla motor, old Tesla batteries, etc. And now that system's great, and we must have sort of 20 odd on the road, and I never get any calls from them. It's really robust, ready to go. But then I think the market sort of evolved into higher quality OEM stuff, Tesla motor, more power, and then obviously the 350 volt nominal for rapid charging, because that's quite a big advancement in the conversion industry.
So bringing CCS is definitely a key point when purchasing.
The reason is you don't have to have we do 55 kilowatt hours or 110 kilowatt hours. If you wanted to only have the 55 kilowatt hour, you can then charge it up in 20 minutes on the 1 day a year that you're going long distances, which remember in your Land Rover, in your Land Rover you don't really do that.
All right, let's go through the system then.
So up the very front, you've got the radiator pack. So cooling the motor on this front big radiator here, and then cooling the battery pack on a much smaller one behind here. All the pipe work, all the water pumps, fans, etc., all ready to go. And as you can see, you just simply plug the loom in. So you can mount that, plug it in, and then you don't have to do any other wiring. It's just completely ready to go.
This all looks OEM. Do you do everything in-house? Do you have key partners?
It's all built here.
Yes.
In terms of the radiator, the pipe work, all the wiring looms, etc., we try and keep as much in-house as possible. Then there's basically the only thing that we don't do ourselves is build the actual battery box ourselves. Now we used to build the battery box here, but I ended up getting rid of staff members and a whole part of this operation and just saying, right, Fellten are now going to build all of my battery boxes because that's what they specialize in. Why would I try and reinvent the wheel there to save a couple of grand here and there? It's just not worth it. So that's obviously what this is. Now we still have to mount it, wire it, put the HV to it, etc., etc. So there's a lot going on, but it does just arrive as a nice grey box with all the software, etc., in it and done. So then other things you obviously lose when you do a conversion is you lose power steering, you lose brake vacuum, you lose air conditioning. So all of that is then powered off voltage, some off 12, some off 350, depending on the component. But all just built into the kit, wired in, ready to go. So you bolt it into original bolt holes on the chassis and just plug it in.
That's the magic of it. It means also it's fully reversible if you ever wanted to go back.
And so that's sort of what happens up the front. There's hidden things like chargers and fuse boards and relays and stuff all in there that you never have to open or get to. But it really is a case here of, look, just your loom will come in a box, just install it and plug it in there. And then
so it's all dust and water resistant.
It's all completely waterproof. Then motor-wise, Tesla Model 3, we really basically decided that this is a much more modern motor than the Model S motor. Obviously, if you think of when they were actually manufactured, it's completely different. But that's about 280 horsepower sitting there. And it's an engine, gearbox, and transfer replacement. All there. And while I'm here, the crazy thing about this is our system is 100 kg lighter now than when it had the engine in it. So everyone thinks batteries are really, really heavy. No, they're not with this system. Because obviously the motor is so light compared to a gearbox.
Do you do any mods to the diff or anything?
So the motor, it's the one thing we can't buy new because Elon won't sell them to me.
Just give him a call.
Yeah, I know, exactly. So they come out of crash cars and then they get split here. This is where all that gets done. So split, new gear set goes in, a new differential, new bearings, the works basically inside. So it's fully then renewed or refurbished. You'll also notice it's been sandblasted, so it's not covered in.
Nice.
It looks as good as we can get them.
Do you take into consideration the ratio in the axle or the size of the wheels?
It's the ratio in the diffs, exactly. And that's why the gear set has to change. And then also on the differential, the Tesla motor runs an open diff. And we were finding that we would lose the front left wheel, and that's not that fun when you're doing 0 to 60 pulls. So that's why there's an LSD in there as well.
Do you use the original drive shaft?
No, they're custom as well. That's all included in the kit as well.
Okay.
It's really absolutely everything you need is included, because even just getting a good prop shaft supplier can be quite hard. And the right length with the right angles, etc. It sounds easy, but it's not.
Do you have customers that use the system to go off-road with a lifted suspension and all?
I'm a little bit careful about lifted suspension. We do have customers that do it, but you basically end up with quite a horrible angle on your prop shafts that you then get vibrations when you're at 50, 60 mile an hour, and you don't really want that kind of thing. So with the car that we'll drive later, that's not actually lifted, but it's just on big wheels, so it seems lifted. You can do it. I just write to you and say, by the way, you might have. I'd rather you didn't, but it's up to you.
Do you have a double yoke in the front?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So all the brackets, everything is built here.
Yeah, everything's built in that room by Toby. Yeah. We've got a CNC plasma cutter, so it's the same every single time. I can say to Toby it's a TD590, and he has a CAD file, and it just goes and cuts it all out. Then buzz it together and send it to powder coating, and it can be built. I think Toby can do a kit in about 4 or 5 days in terms of the metal work. It's just, but it's all designed, and we've tested it 50 times.
So the system works whether it's a 90, a 110, 130, doesn't matter.
It matters there's very small differences that we know, i.e. slight hole position changes or slightly different brackets, but the majority of it is all exactly the same. Same goes with left-hand drive. So there's a couple of things we just have to mirror, but that's all just built in our side. But we will do any Land Rover Defender series or Range Rover Classic.
Okay. Nice. And the binnacle is fully redone with new valves.
So that's new clocks inside the original binnacle there. If it's a Puma, the clocks are slightly different. If it's a series, you can have the clocks in the middle. Yeah. So we know all of those iterations now and how things fit, because we've done so many cars now. And that really is the key thing, because there's players coming in who say, oh, we can do a Defender because they've watched all my videos. It's a bit different. We've really learned by trial and error a lot of the time.
And also you use OEM components.
This is an OEM pedal. We have to match it to the motor, so it's not just as easy as plugging it in. But yeah, that's the kind of small iterations that we can make in the background to make this as seamless as possible.
And the button for the gears, do you have to have it here? Could you have it on the dashboard and have like 3 seats in the front?
Yeah, so this is a TD5 model, which means it has a really big gearbox tunnel. And what we ultimately do, it has a cubby box in the middle. So this is quite a nice place to put gear selection. It's exactly where the gear sticks used to be. On series, for example, we put it in the dashboard, because why not? Because then we can flatten the floor down. That kind of thing changes based on the model, because obviously the gearbox just changes. So we have to make slightly different iterations based on that.
Cool.
But the bulk of it's the same. The wiring's the same. The buttons are the same. It's just in a slightly different shape plate.
All right,
you can see how all this behind.
Charge ports for different markets also?
So obviously Europe is Type 2. Majority of our customers used to be UK, but now we're really shifting into the US market. So that's now been redesigned for a Type 1 socket, so it can charge at any public charging point in America.
How quick can you charge on CCS?
This will do 70 kilowatt CCS charging, which you have to remember, this is only a 55 kilowatt hour pack. So that's 20 minutes and you're at 80, 90% ready to go again. It's plenty fast enough. And that is software limited. You could probably have it higher, but your warranty goes out.
And last few bits, the radiator for the AC.
Yeah, aircon down the back here. Electric handbrakes, because obviously you lose the handbrake drum on the back of the gearbox, on the back of the transfer box. No, it really is a case of you don't have to even think about that. You'd often think, is an electric handbrake really part of an EV conversion? It's got to be. It's completely wired in, and it's integrated into our system, just to make it as easy as possible for the installer.
So you say it's easy for installers. And you say it takes a week, but could you do it in, say, 3 hours?
Let's see. That's today.
Today we're going to give it a try. We've got a 90 with all the gear system removed, and the plan is to put everything from this chassis on.
Exactly. So we don't do any engine removals here, but the engine, gearbox, and transfer box have been taken out of it. The car is, we call it prepared for us, because we're not mechanics. We don't want to do this sort of stuff underneath like that. So it should literally be a case of we unbolt it and we bolt it back in.
Sounds easy, like a Meccano or Lego.
I mean, it's number 50, right? Hopefully we know what we're doing
by now.
You've done this
once or twice then.
Yeah, a little bit.
Not bad for people that you say are not mechanics.
Yeah,
right,
exactly.
Let's give it a try.
So for an update, we're about an hour in. We have got the main 12-volt loom is now in the car. the framework starting to go in underneath me. I'm actually up in the sky right now. I'm putting the clocks in, wiring it up to the original ignition key, and putting the control board in here. So, for example, where you turn the handbrake off and on, and where you go drive, neutral, reverse. So that's where we're up to so far.
So it's ready for the next pre-builds.
Yeah, so that's ready, and now we've got to pull the car forward so that we can lift the battery box into it, because this is 320 kg. It's not very nice doing it on an unusual engine crane, so because we've got this big beam, we'll pull the car underneath it and drop this in. So that'll be pretty soon, I think, probably within the next half an hour. We're at the stage now where the framework's in, and the underneath section is sort of at a point where we can take it off the lift and bring it forward so that we can crane the battery pack in. Now we're lucky we've got a big RSJ there to lift it in, but we've also got an engine crane, which is what this can also be done with. So you don't have to have a big gantry like this. It makes it a little bit easier if you can, but you don't have to. So in about, I don't know, 5 minutes time, this should be in the car and be starting to be bolted in.
Yeah, we're below the top of the 4 bolt.
Okay, so the UBP 55 kilowatt hour battery pack is now in the car. So now it's a case of fitting the auxiliary components like the brake vacuum system, the air conditioning compressor, the power steering pump, and then the radiator pack up the front, because this, obviously you don't want to squeeze it between everything else. So now that's in, we'll do the little bits. 2 hours. So we've hit the 2 hour mark now, and it's a case of the battery pack is in, the auxiliaries are going in, and I'm prepping the motor because the car's going to go back on the lift in a minute, and then the motor will go in on this big gearbox jack there. So, do you think we'll finish in the next hour?
100%.
I don't know. Almost done with it. Yeah. Yeah, that's what we need to bolt through there. Right, go, push. Hold on. Forward again. And stop. And go.
Barnaby, could you give us an update?
Yeah. So, we're back on the ramp now, because it's time for the motor to go in. So the motor is on the stand, and it's a case of just lifting it up into where the transfer case used to be, which is in the gearbox tunnel ultimately. And then there'll be a bit of wiring under here that we connect up to what we've just put in the top here. And then it should be prop shafts on, hopefully, and see if it works. I don't get it, man. Okay, so we're about, what, 10 minutes later than 10 minutes further on now, and the motor is in the car. So Toby's just tightening it all up now. But you can see how that sits in the middle of the chassis rails.
There we go. 3 hours is up.
Barnaby, do you know what time it is?
Hey,
It's been 3 hours.
how's it? Who said 3 hours?
I don't know, but how long do you see you still need?
40 minutes?
40 minutes. Under 4 hours is doable then.
4 hours is easy.
Yeah.
But I would prefer it's done before then. Ready?
Yeah. Stop.
Defend.
Yep.
Right, just tell me where you need me. I'll do the front one. Prop shaft. And then hopefully it reverses off this ramp straight away. But don't quote me yet. Okay, so time is up. We've finished the Land Rover. It is now fully electric. So let's take it for a spin on its first test drive. You can see it in the tunnel. See how high the tunnel is.
All right, so first wheel spin.
Yeah.
And it works.
It works. It's almost like we've done this before.
Well, is it like the 51st?
51st.
Wow.
Yeah. This is number 51,
Okay.
which is quite exciting, but that's why we can now do it in 4 hours.
Wow.
It
pulls.
Ready?
Yeah. Well,
It's a bit different with less people in it.
it doesn't get old.
Yeah.
So what's next for you guys? I know you've been talking about doing a very special Defender.
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit more about it?
So we're doing a round the world build. It's a Series 1, which is 1952. And we're putting 110 kilowatt hours on it.
Yes.
And it's going from London to London, all the way around the world, through Asia, down through Singapore, Australia, New Zealand, and then America, and back on a ship to Europe again. So that's a really exciting big project. They're going to do a big documentary about it. It's going to be in all the magazines all over the place. So stay tuned for that for sure.
All right. Now, what about this particular 90 we're in? Is it going to be?
This one is going to Guernsey, and it's actually going to be the delivery vehicle for a Chinese restaurant there.
Nice.
So that's the plan. Obviously, Guernsey's a great place for electric vehicles because there's no such thing as range anxiety, because there's no kind of range you can go.
Yeah, nice. All right, so this took you 4 hours. Obviously, you had prepped the whole system,
Yeah.
and you still have a few finishing
Yeah,
touches,
we still have some
obviously.
tidy up to do.
Let's talk about price. How much it costs for individual, for how the trade gets in
Yeah.
touch with you.
So this customer paid £60,000. In America, it's $87,000 US, and that's a kit in a crate delivered to your workshop in America, or your car converted here in England.
Okay.
We ship the kits all over the world. Our long-range system is £85,000 or $122,000 US for the full kit. Obviously, you have to have the car.
Yes.
Doesn't include the car.
And the team installing it all in
Yeah.
4 hours.
Yeah, our team, that's why in England our installation cost is the same as our kit cost, because you can see how quick the installation is. But you know, all of our pricing is based on the fact that really it's a kit for self-install.
Yeah.
And then there's regen.
Yeah.
You can see that going back into the pack as we brake, and then it just goes.
Speaking about regen, do you have several modes? Or is it
It's all connected to my phone or the customer's phone, so they can have 100% regen, they can have 50% regen, they can turn regen off completely.
Perfect, yeah.
They can also press this eco button here.
Yeah.
So now it's green, the acceleration will be much more gentle.
Okay. Do you offer service, like a yearly service? Or?
No, we've never needed to. So our systems, if we want to do a software update, we'll do it over the internet through a laptop to like run new charge software or something like that. But in terms of the actual car, like brakes and suspension, all that kind of stuff, it's not done by us. It's just done by a normal mechanic.
Okay. And are you considering offering other platform outside the Defender and late series Land Rovers?
Range Rover Classic is our only other option. So we're basically glued into that market now. We're really well known now as the top people to do Land Rover conversions because it's all we do, and I don't really want to change beyond into something else unless it was something really special.
All right. So last thing, mention your website and where people can.
So we're electriccarconverts.com. We're all over Instagram. I've got loads of YouTube videos as well, so you can see other stages of the build or whatever else we're up to in Range Rovers and series, etc. But yeah, plenty on our website to see, and feel free to give me a call if you've got any questions.
All right, guys. If you like what you saw today, let us know in the comments below. Give us a thumbs up, and guys, we'll see you in the next one.